We have been working tirelessly for the last 6 months, getting ready to make this huge announcement, and it is finally here. Let's get into it right now here on the Fearless Investor Podcast. Hey, I need to take a really quick break from this podcast. And if you are a loyal listener of the Fearless Investor Podcast, you're probably either a business owner or looking to start a business. And for that reason, you need to make sure you're doing things correctly, down to the T. From forming the correct LLC to bookkeeping to understanding the tax code and more. It's all really the boring stuff, but it can make or break your business. In fact, if you aren't doing it correctly, you could be like 98% of other business professionals in the US and overpay on taxes. Don't do that, guys. Be the 2%. And that's why I rely on Easier Accounting, and so should you. Easier Accounting is a team of tax professionals that will set up your LLC, keep your books, file your taxes, and they can even repair your credit. And just so you know, I myself use Easier Accounting, and this came after using a similar company that, really being blunt here, completely ripped me off. So when I started using Easier Accounting, I came in a little bit skeptical, but as I started talking to them, I could really tell they had my best interests at heart. And you know me, if I'm not a professional, I'm not going to do it myself. I'm going to outsource that stuff. And I hope you will do the same and use that same mindset to hire professionals to help you form and manage your business. Easier Accounting is absolutely the way to go. Go check them out at fearlesskyle.com/easier accounting. Team Fearless, if you have been struggling to figure out how to buy properties in this crazy market that we're in right now, I have a huge announcement for you today that's going to help you buy more properties with interest rates that are maybe half of the market or maybe non-existent. We're going to talk about it right now here on the Fearless Investor podcast and YouTube channel. As you all know, right, we've been the Fearless Investor for the last few years. The Fearless Investor, singular, for the last few years. And it's been really fun to see a lot of you build your short-term rental business along with me through the mode of co-hosting and arbitraging other people's properties. But today, we are the Fearless Investors. We have added an S. It's the same logo. It's the same look, but just an S. And so the question is, well, what's the S about? Who's the S? Who's the other person? If it was just Kyle before and he was just the Fearless Investor, now who's the investors? Who is it? It is none other than my extremely good friend who's going to just bring down the house for the Fearless Investors brand and help you to buy more houses, Mr. Lame Kinney. And I'm going to introduce him right now. Lame Kinney is in the house. What's up, brother?
What is popping, baby? How we doing?
Let's go, guys. I cannot tell you how excited I am for this. And we're going to get to a really huge, that's not even the big announcement. Okay. The announcement, Lame being a part of our brand, is very exciting, but what he's bringing is the huge announcement. And so,
hey, pause, Kyle. Kyle. Hey, I am so excited to be here, guys. So excited to be part of the Fearless Investor family. We about to run it, baby.
Let's get a close up on that hat.
Check the swag, baby. Check the swag. You know what I'm saying?
I hope mine's in the mail. Mine's in the mail, right? Brother. I once again, and I'm talking to all of you out there in the 6FF community, you're the first ones to hear this. Okay, this is going live on January 25th to the rest of the Fearless Investors brand on Facebook, on our podcast, on our YouTube channel. But you're the first ones to hear it today because y'all are bought in. Y'all are the ones that have been investing in your future. And so what I want you to do is I want you to hear from Lame what we're going to be bringing to you. Let's just talk about, Lame, you've bought over 100 houses in the last 2 years. How have you gone about doing that?
Yeah, I think, well, I guess I'll start, Kyle, by just saying, hey, I'm super excited to be here, guys. I'm super excited to be able to share with you guys my journey. And what's special about this specifically is the fact that my journey started in this community with you, Kyle, right? As a mentor, as a coach. I was part of the 6FF. I was exactly where you guys were in terms of building my portfolio of co-host and arbitrage. And as you guys may have known, if you've listened to some of our podcasts, we saw success there. But then I got to a certain point, like probably many of you are at, where I was like, how do I take the next level? How do I start owning the properties that I now manage. And that's when, creative finance became a huge thing for me. And yeah, and we scaled. And over the course of the last 2 years, we've managed to own about 100 doors. So it's been fun.
And I mean, guys, we've done podcasts with Lame. So if you don't know who he is at this point, like, you're either new to the brand or you've been living under a rock, because Lame has broken down creative finance down to the nitty gritty. And I want to encourage you to go over and to learn more about that through our past podcasts. That's not the goal of this right now. The goal right now is to let you know what the truly big, huge announcement is. So when Lame and I first got together, and by the way, just to speak to this really quickly, this was not just like a shot in the dark thing. This was very calculated. What I did about 8 months ago is I surveyed all of you who participated, all of the Fearless Investor community, Team Fearless. I asked, what do you want to do? Do you want to own more properties? Do you want to build cash flow? Do you want to do more arbitrage? Do you want to do more co-hosting? What do you want to do? And over 50% of you said, I want to own more properties. And guess what? That's not my expertise. I own some properties. My wife and I combined owned 18 doors, but I'm not going to sit here and be like, yeah, I'm the expert on that. But Lame is. And when I went to Lame and I said, hey, I want you to be a part of this brand. I want you to show people how you're buying properties. At that time, he had bought 50 in the last 12 months. Now he's almost doubled that in the previous 6 months. I went to him and I said, how can we deliver this to people the best way possible? And we have been talking for the last 6 months, and this is what we have come up with. So Lame, if you want to go ahead and talk about what we're doing, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen so people have a little bit of a way to see what we're talking about. But what is it that we're going to bring to everyone?
Love it. And so, as Kyle mentioned, we've been really hard at work for the last few months, just putting together something that would essentially be able to share with you guys on how I did it, on what I was able to do, the strategies of the team, the people in place. And so one of the very first things that we're rolling out is essentially our free 5-day caster challenge. Okay. And I kind of want to go through just kind of the overviewing, arching idea of this. You guys have a lot of you probably are familiar with Pace Morby. You guys are familiar with guys like Chris. I butcher his last name, Kyle.
Prefontaine. Yeah, Chris Prefontaine.
Yeah. These are guys that are experts in short-term rentals, right? Or excuse me, experts in creative finance. And creative finance isn't a new thing, right? There's been a lot of people that have been teaching about it. But we are going to roll out for you a method and a strategy that I like to call the caster method. And this is different because it's essentially combining the creative space with the short-term rental space that all of us are already involved in and partake in, right? And so in this 5-day challenge, you're going to see me walk through essentially my entire process. I'm going to show you what people are in place to help transact these deals. A lot of people have questions as to hey, who are the people that I need on my side to make sure that this transact properly? We're going to help you identify markets. We're going to walk through specific deals. And at the end of it, which is my favorite part, is we're actually going to hear live calls from myself, but also being able to give you guys resources to help you at the end of this be talking and transacting with real sellers in your actual market. And so, I'm freaking stoked about this because, again, we've been hard at work over the last few months, not just essentially creating this, but also proving the concept, right? I have already people that have been able to walk through this, and my buddy Doug was able to implement this exact strategy, and he was able to walk away with a creative deal that had $1 million in equity, right? Another buddy of mine, Will, was able to buy 40 acres and a house on that 40 acres that he's going to short-term rental. So guys, this isn't just an idea that we're throwing out and hoping it sticks to the wall. This is something that we've been very calculated about, and I've been able and managed to help people actually implement these things to get real results. And so I'm just super excited about it. As you guys can tell, this is my passion, and that's what I that's what I'm excited to share with all of you guys, is just like the excitement of like, guys, your new life, your new portfolio is just around the corner. It wasn't that long ago where I was sitting where you are with the portfolio that you have, listening to these videos of hearing people's stories. It wasn't that long ago. It was only 2 years ago when I started, and now I own an entire investment firm, right? And it's been fun, and I'm excited to be able to share and drop some of these nuggets that have helped me in this journey. And what I love about it too, guys, is it's all fresh. I mean, this is all stuff that I've been doing this year, right? So it's not like I'm teaching you about something that, has been a long time since I've taken a part of. Like this is real stuff that I'm doing weekly. Real people on my team that you're going to have access to. These are all things that we're actually utilizing and implementing today to be able to go and make money. So excited to share.
If you guys can't tell that we're excited, then I turn up the hearing aids, because we are seriously, I mean, the amount of time and effort that Lame and I have been putting into this is all for you guys. It's all for you to be able, and Eli just said, that's awesome. Michael says, love it. Let's effing go. So let's go, guys. This is going to be live. Okay. So this is the exciting thing. If you are in this, if you are listening right now, and right now, today, as we're launching this information to the Six Figure Formula community, right? It's January 17th. We are going live with this 5-day challenge on January 29th. That is a Monday through Friday of that week. After you get off work, you're going to be logging in. You're going to be going live with Lame and myself, and we're going to be talking directly with you in the community that does this. I don't care if there's 2 people. I don't care if there's 200 people. We're going to have a community in this live 5-day caster challenge that's going to be going through each of those days that you just saw as it popped up on your screen. And the power of that, guys, I spent 2 days with Lame here in Fresno, and I downloaded his brain, and I'm telling you, like, by the end of that, I was making calls to sellers because I was just so confident in all the information that he gave me. Think about what you're going to be able to do in 5 days with Lame by your side on this 5-day challenge. So the way to do this right now, you're going to go to the link that I just dropped in the Facebook comments. That is your register link. Go ahead and fill that out. If you're watching this and it's before January 29th, or even if it's after January 29th and you're watching the replay of this, I have good news for you. You can still get in on this. All you have to do is click on the link in the description below, or if you're listening on the podcast, in your show notes, and you can be a part of this. Okay. So, Lame, I know you mentioned Doug. I want to also talk for a second about, it was David, I think.
Yeah.
One of the things that I really liked about David's testimonial was, like, he wasn't quite like sold on getting into real estate, right? It kind of felt like you were like kind of pushing him a little bit.
100%.
What do you feel? And first of all, just break down that story really quick of what David's results were, and kind of like where he came from. But then I got a couple follow-up questions just about holding back David.
So David's a good friend of mine, and I've been really trying really hard to get him to make some moves into real estate. And what I love about David's story, guys, is he was a lot less involved in real estate, like active real estate, than everybody watching this call. Right. And I was able to walk through him basically this entire, what we're about to release, the caster method. And he was able to buy his first property last month. Okay. This was in December it was November. I think he closed on it in November. And he was able to buy it for 5% was the interest rate, which at that time, as you guys know, I mean, we were at 7-8, right? So he was nearly half of the current interest rate of market. He put about, I know it was less than 7% down, but I can't remember the exact number. But he put it less than 7% down. He furnished it, did everything he needed to do. It went live in December. And year to date, in the first month today of January, he's made 10 grand, okay, of gross rents as a short-term rental. Right? And this is the guy that's like, guys, this is the guy that is not actively in real estate like you are. Like, this is just a guy that just went and bought one property using the caster method and implementing these strategies, and to be honest, there's a lot of what he did even after the fact on the short-term rental side that I know for a fact a lot of you are far better than he is and far more learned than he is. And he made 10 grand on that property in month 1, right? And so absolutely killer deal. I mean, he just on that first month, he made 10% cash on cash in the first month. Like that's crazy, guys. And these deals are out there. They're out there. And I say this all the time to you, Kyle. Like good deals, guys, they're not found, they're created. The best part about this story is that that house that he purchased was sitting on the MLS for like 90 days. It was just there. It was just there. And like this guy came, he implemented the caster method. I walked him through a few strategies and he made 10 grand. And it's like, if we were to be able to, if anybody were able, any investor would be able to see that deal and how it happened, everybody would have jumped on it, right?
Yeah.
But again, you got to know the certain strategies. You got to understand what you're looking at. You got to know what you need to implement to create the deal. Because good deals, again, they're not found; they're created.
So. Well, and guys, Lame is extremely humble. He's not going to toot his own horn, but I'm going to do that for him really quick. And I want to do this because I want you guys to understand, like, you don't need to be an expert in this, but you're going to have way more information than Lame ever had when he started. So Lame is a doer. Like he's just going to get shit done, right? That's what he does. I call it GSD mode. It's get shit done mode. Like he's just going to go out there and he's going to do it. And one of the things that I loved about this is when he built his co-hosting and arbitrage portfolio to about 50, right? He was like, I got to get more equity. I got to go out there and I got to find a way to start building generational wealth for my family. And that's something that instead of him waiting for the market to change, right? Waiting for rates to come down, waiting for deals to come his way, he just got into action. He didn't even know what creative financing was. And he just started Googling and YouTubing and figuring things out. But a lot of that stuff, right? It's not explained very well. And one of the things that I love about Lame, and I've said it on our podcast before, he makes things so simple. When I talk to Lame and I hear him, I get it. When and I love a lot of the other teachers in this space, but when I hear their stuff, I'm just like, wait, can you repeat that? What does that mean? What do you mean by yada yada yada? Like I have a lot of like questions afterward. With Lame, it's just like, okay, cool, it's quick, it's to the point, get the fluff out of the way. And that's what you guys are going to get that he didn't have when he started. He had so many questions going into this, but he still picked up the phones and called sellers. And you're going to literally be able to pick up the phone with Lame and call sellers by day 5 of this challenge with knowledge that you're going to have that Lame did not have
100%.
when he picked up his phone the first time.
100%.
That's what's so exciting about this. So tell everyone, tell your friends, tell your family. We want this room to be packed for the 5-day caster challenge. It starts January 29th. It goes to February 2nd. That is a Monday through Friday. You're going to have all the recordings as well for life. You're never going to lose it, but you're going to want to be there live because that's where the real energy and the real excitement is going to happen. So if you're watching right now, get into the comments in the Facebook group. Make sure you go ahead and register in the link that I provided. If you are not watching right now, but you're listening or watching on replay, just go down to the description, go into the show notes. If you're listening on the podcast, click on the link to get started on the 5-day challenge, and we will see you there. Or by the way, if this is after February 2nd, it's still going to be recorded so that you can still get the recordings any other time. Lame, anything else that you want to add before we just go ahead and have people start registering and get this thing going?
Yeah, last thing I'll just say, guys, is like that you are far more capable than you realize, and these deals are a lot more reachable and attainable than you realize.
Yeah.
And that's what I just wish to hit home, because I recognize the feeling of hearing of these stories, of watching these videos of somebody like myself, like, hey, this guy was able to buy 100 doors in 2 years, and it sounded like unattainable. And like, I can't stress enough like how real the opportunity is, especially for people that are in this group. Like, you are already transacting in real estate, and you already have this ace in your back pocket of the 6FF family, of the fearless investors. Like, that is such a key up to where the next step of owning, the next step of buying, it's really not that far in front of you. It really isn't. And it's a real attainable goal. So just walk into this with that mindset. And I'm excited to share with you guys and see you guys all at the 5-day challenge.
We will see you there January 29th. If you have any questions here in the comments, go ahead and drop your questions. If you have any questions you're watching on the replay, just DM me or DM Lame. We're on Instagram, Fearless Kyle, and then Lame K. What is your name on Instagram?
Hailame K. So it's my full name, Hailame, and then K.
Awesome. Okay, guys, let's do this thing. Let's conquer the caster method together. We'll see you on January 29th. Thanks, Lame.
Yep.
All right, I hope you're just as excited as we are, because this has been something that we've been working on for a long time. Lame is the guy. He is the guy that I know is going to change the scope of your business, is going to be able to help you buy more properties and change the trajectory of you and your family's future. Doug, his friend Doug, literally bought 2 properties and has $1.5 million in equity. You're talking about a guy right now, I don't know where he was at before, but how does $1.5 million right now in equity sound to you? I don't think that should sound bad to anyone. And that was just 2 deals. This is how powerful creative financing is. And this is how powerful just the 5-day challenge is going to be. So I don't care if you're watching this on January 28th, 2024, or January of 2025. This 5-day challenge is available to you. And you're going to be able to either watch it live with us as we go live on January 29th to February 2nd for free. Okay. If you didn't catch that, we sent it a couple times, but for free, January 29th to February 2nd. And you can be a part of this. Just click on the link in the description or the show notes below. And after, if you're not there live, it's okay. We're going to have the recording and it's going to be just as powerful. You're going to be able to see all the recordings from everything, all the calls, all of the Q&A, all of the things that every student is learning along the way. You're going to be able to see, touch, and feel that as well and be a fly on that wall. So make sure you go and click on the link down below. Let's get you started in the Caster 5-day challenge. And welcome to the new Fearless Investors YouTube channel and podcast. Thank you so much.